Hello everybody, Hellcracks here, and welcome to another Mercenary Thoughts from the Inner Sphere, episode 407. And today we're going to be talking about that slow-moving fire mandrill. The fire mandrill? It's the mandrill. From the fire mandrills. There you go. It's supposed to look like some type of baboon-looking thing, which is the totem mech of the fire mandrills. It's fugly, that's for darn sure. But it's supposedly their totem mech that is the all-too worshipping mech of the clan. Yeah. Okay. The fire mandrill. Or the mandrill. It just is called the mandrill. I guess that is the title. It is a 464. Yes, you heard it. A 464 mech. Yeah. It has Indo-Steel and Fire Fibers armor, so it's 8 points short of maximum for a 30-ton mech. It has 5 tons of Fire Fibers, so it's just slightly shy of what it needs to be fully armored for 96 points, which is pretty much the legs. If you look at it, the legs are short by about 8 points, 4 in each. Then we have a couple weapon systems. I have 3, I guess. We have an LRM-20 in the right torso, LRM-20 in the left torso with 2 tons of ammunition each. And then we have an ER small laser in the head with right and left torso. We got 2 jump jets each. So it's a slow-moving clan mech for 30 tons. Basically, it's a slow-moving clan fire support mech. Hanging back, because the moment this thing gets near any of the top tier clan mechs, it's toast. That's the nearest I can figure. It's like I've played many games with Inner Sphere mechs that are 4-6 moving, and then they get anywhere near some high tier clan mechs, and if they focus on it, it's gone. And I can't see this being any different. So you definitely don't want to get it too near the front. It does have enough armor to survive a good hit from a large laser, but if you hit it with a PPC or a Gauss rifle, that stuff's just punching right through to the other side. But pretty much any 30-ton mech, even if it was fully armored, 100%, it wouldn't matter. So if you hit it with a large laser or 2 PPCs in the same spot, that part is gone. It's toast. So it's one of those mechs where I think part of the issue is that it's ugly. Yes, it's supposed to be a fire mandrill, being the totem mech. It's supposed to look like a fire mandrill. You look at the pictures of the fire mandrills. But it was like the first time I seen it when this book came out, I looked at it like, ugh. I was like, why would I want to have that mech? And then when it was built and it was ready by Iron Wind, I looked at it like, yuck. It's like, that's an issue. Another thing is that when you look at mechs, sometimes you just look at them and go, it doesn't speak to me at all. Now, others may look at it, oh, that's so cool, I got to have it. This is one of those mechs you look at it and go, no, I don't think so. I don't want to spend any money on that thing yet. Maybe after, if I collected every single mech that's in the book, and this was the last one, probably. That'd be why I'd get one. And if I decide to find one that's a 3D printed, since I have a 3D printer, maybe I'd probably find a file and maybe print some out just to have them, add to the clan collection. But until that point, probably not. And the big issue I have with the fire mandrill, now let's get into the nuts and bolts of everything. It has 2 LRM-20s. That's good. I like LRM-20s. And then you have an ER small, which is the afterthought of this mech. It's like, hey, we're going to use that for, we're out of ammo. So you got 12 turns that you can fire your LRM-20s. You're definitely probably not going to be throwing a great pilot in one of these things. You might have a 3-4 pilot. So you have some capability of overcoming, some of the distances you're going to be fighting at. But at 1,200 battle value, it's kind of a steal for throwing a couple of LRM-20s onto the board. But some people may look and say, I'd just rather take a vulture, you know, and go that route. You get a little bit more speed with it, and you got some options of what you want to throw in for the, since it's an Omni mech. So it's like, that's the thing is, a mech like this gets can't even say it. It's hiding in the shadows of all the greater Omni mechs. Even a slightly crappy clan Omni would probably get more phase time on the battlefield than this thing will, unless you're playing the clan fire Mandrill. So you probably have one, maybe two on the battlefield, just because it's the totem mech. You know, you're gonna have to have some of those things. But it's one of these mechs you're going to be looking for a place to hide, and like, hey, you got some heavy woods or light woods, get into them, use your jump jets to get into them, and then you just sit there and park, because you can jump 4 and have a 2 mod, you can run 5 and have a 2 mod, or you can park, if you can find some heavy woods and park yourself for a 2 mod. So it's probably what's going to happen a lot of times, is that you're just going to try to park yourself in the back and not be the frontline mech, and then just kind of rain down your LRM-20s the best you can until they go click, click, click. And then is like, and that's the point where when you run out of ammo with this thing, I'm turning it around and leaving. I'm not going to go to battle with a small laser, because all you're doing is just destroying a mech that could go to the rear and get some more ammo installed. So save the metal type of thing and jump out or run as fast as you can with your little teeny legs to get out of there. So, yeah. Now, the one nice thing about this mech, though, is that being its clan, the LRM-20s can fire at point-blank range. So you can get into somebody's face and do some good damage, up to, you know, a little over 40 points if you're lucky with your die rolls. Now, a mech like this, if you had a pilot with like cluster hitter, so which acts kind of like Artemis in a way, you know, depending on the range. That would be a kind of handy skill if you're playing with those kind of things in the game. You know, it's like pilots have skills, and this one, if they had a cluster hitter, would be good, because then you're able to just add a little bit more damage to the mix, typically. And if you had Artemis on this thing. Now, that brings up an interesting point. If this mech had been given LRM-15s instead of LRM-20s, that would have freed up 3 tons. You could have put a half ton towards more armor, which would go to the legs. And then you'd put like 2 ER medium lasers and maybe a flamer. You know, it's like Clan Fire Mandrill. It would be interesting. Hey, we got to put a flamer on all of our mechs just because, hey, fire's in our name, right? That would be something to do. Or you could just upgrade that ER small laser to another ER medium laser. So you'd have 3 ER medium lasers, 2 LRM-15s, and maxed out armor. It'd still be a 464. That way, when you get into those medium ranges, you have some options. You can throw out a couple LRM-15s, and then you could throw in a couple ER medium lasers, and slowly, if you're moving, then depends on how fast you're moving, that would determine how much heat you're going to create. But you know, you got that kind of going for you. So that'd be something I would consider looking at. Now, if you were parked someplace, like in some heavy woods, you had 2 LRM-15s and firing 2 medium lasers, you know, that's 20. You could do that all day and not worry about heating up. Now, if you're walking, they'd go up by 1. If you're running, go up by 2. You could do it for a couple turns, and then you swap out, not fire one of the ER medium lasers, cool off a little bit, and then go right back at it again. You know, that kind of thing what goes through my head when I'm thinking mechs like this is that they could have done one slight thing and it would have made it a better mech and give you some backup when the ammo bays go dry. So yeah, that's kind of the things that go through my head when I think about these kind of mechs. So that's pretty much the Mandrill from Fire Mandrills. It has potential. Now that version I was talking about is only 9 more points battle value by just adding some downgrading from LR15s to the ER medium lasers. Yeah, well worth it, I think. You know, that would be a way to go if you decided to do any changes to the mech instead of just, well, what they provided. Now, that's it. That's pretty much the Mandrill. It's not one of those mechs that I just like, I think that I need to have. One of these days, I'll probably get one. It's one of those mentalities where you got to be I'm a kind of a completionist, and I'm slowly adding over the years to the number of mechs I have. You know, it's like I got like 800, 900 miniatures now for the game. So yeah, I got a lot. Not all of them are painted. Just like this, I haven't even started painting the last Kickstarter. That's a sad thing to say, but yeah, that's a lot of mechs and a lot of vehicles. It adds up. So eventually, you get one book done, you start slowly moving on to the next one. And I haven't even got past I think I'm just finishing up the 3055 book for mechs. So that's it. That is the Mandrill. Hope you guys like it. Like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one. LCorrects out.